So tell me a little bit about what your experience was after the seminar and kind of what, how it was leading up to the surgery.
Extreme excitement. You're very eager to get things going, and you think like, all right, let's do this. But then you kind of hit a wall because you're not mentally ready for what's about to happen. You get your folders, you go to do your tests, but it's time consuming. It's easy, and everybody's helpful. So I kind of felt like overwhelmed at first with everything that I need to do, but as it went, it was so smooth and everybody was very helpful that it really was kind of like secondhand. I mean, it started out with I did the CPAP, the sleep apnea test. You got to go home, sleep with a machine for 3 or 4 days, and it monitors your breathing. You got to get chest X-rays, meet with your cardiologist. There's several different things and certain criteria you have to meet in order to qualify for the surgery. Mine just kind of seemed like it was a little bit long. Some appointments got canceled, not because of me, but because of the doctor's office, so they move you back. So it probably took, I want to say, around 3 months altogether from the time that I initially did the seminar to the time that I was accepted for surgery. I did have to do a full 2-week pre-op liquid diet, which is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's hard. It's not easy. But you can do it. I'll say that days 3, 4, and 6 for me were the hardest days. Day 3, like they'll tell you, day 3 is going to be the hardest because you start to crave food. Maybe something to chew or something of consistency, not just chicken broth or water based. And you will get that feeling. Day 4 was challenging. On day 4, I slipped up and had a little bit of a cream of chicken soup, and it literally made me sick. Maybe because I hadn't had anything in a few days and my body wasn't used to it, so it just right back up. But unfortunately that's part of the process. And then on day 5, I felt better. I kind of lost the craving for the food. I was okay with what I was doing on the liquids. And then day 6 hit me, and I felt really sick. I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't dehydrated, but my body kind of basically was rejecting the chicken broth and the beef broth and stuff that I was eating. I was having sugar-free popsicles, Jell-O, which you can only mix with water. And by the way, it does not hold. I don't care what they tell you. If you do a full packet of the sugar-free Jell-O with the appropriate amount of water, it's like a goo, or like a liquidy goo. It doesn't set. So when you put it in the refrigerator for 4 hours and take it out, it's just a goo. If you do venture that route, I'd probably say use a half the amount of water. I would say it was day 7 and day 8. On day 7, I had a little piece of fish, and again, didn't go well. Stomach didn't like it, and I guess at that point my body was just kind of adjusting itself, because for years I never had that. I always had like a high calorie diet, a lot of food, whatever I wanted to, oils, greases, and when your body or when you go into a diet like that, it's such a shock to your body. It's kind of like a state of commotion or hysteria. You don't really know what's going on, and neither does your body. So you just got to kind of go with the flow. I roughed it out. At day 8, I wasn't hungry anymore. I didn't feel bad. No more chicken broth, but I was completely fine with my popsicles. That was kind of like my savior. And day 9 came around, and then before I knew it, is day 15. And I was came in for my pre-op appointment for my surgery. So it flies. You can do it. It's challenging. It's hard. I was somebody who didn't have a big support system. I'm single. I don't have any family. But people who I've mentioned it to, because I'm open about stuff, they support you 100%. So don't think that just because maybe it's a coworker or somebody you meet or a friend or something, that you can't talk about it around them or you're nervous, because you'll find that you get more support in strangers than you do sometimes from family members. So that would be my advice, is just kind of be happy with it, feel good in what you're doing, have your own self, make your own motivation, because you can't rely on others to do it for you. You'll never succeed that way. So that's how I got about it. I just told myself I could do it, and I did it.
How far out are you from your surgery now?
Today is exactly 6 weeks.
How much have you lost?
From the beginning of my 2-week pre-op liquid diet, so 2 weeks prior to surgery, to now, I've lost 62.5 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, so my surgery weight was I was 464 high weight. Today I weighed 401.5. And, well, actually a little bit more, because I was 464.2, so a few ounces, but, that's here and there.
Are you already feeling different?
Absolutely. 6 weeks ago, I couldn't walk 30 feet.
Wow.
Couldn't, just to walk to the mail, just to get up and walk from my living room to the bathroom, which is probably 10 yards, less than that, 9 yards. It was physically hard, and I would sweat. I'd be out of breath. I would dread getting the mail. I wouldn't get the mail for like a week. And it would get to the point where it's like the mailman would start bringing it to my door. He's like, "Hey, you forget the mail?" And I was like, "Yeah, totally forgot it." Or taking out the trash even. But now I went from walking barely 30 feet to walk over a mile.
Nice.
I go to the gym 5 days a week, sometimes twice a day.
I know that was one of your goals, to get to the gym.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's such a relief. Like you'll find that the more you're able to do, the more excited you are for it, and it's not it's not like a chore. Mm-hmm. Maybe before, when you go to the gym, you'd find it to be a chore, but it's not a chore. It's actually, you're like, game on. Like, what can I do today?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it, and that's how I feel. I feel great, compared to how I was before. I'm more mobile. A good example is I went and got blood drawn earlier today. And for the longest time, every time I get blood drawn, they have like the typical seat where you sit down and it has the little child thing that folds down. That could never close. It wouldn't even get get quarter of the way, and it would stop on me. Today I sat in the chair and I just wanted to see, I was like, hey, I think I might fit in this. Put the arm down, and I had like 2 inches or 3 inches on each side of me. So, I mean, it's a good feeling. It's little victories. You don't always look for the big, huge main goal. It's little victories at a time, and that's what's going to get you where you want to go. So just got to stick with it. If you have a stall, it was week 4. I only lost 1 pound. But it didn't get me down. I knew what I was doing was the right thing. So I decided I was working out more, so I started to eat a little bit more. My body was allowing me to. And by me adding a little bit more food to my diet, that was it. I went from that week 4, only lost 1 pound. Week 5, lost almost 5. And then this week, again, I lost almost 5. And then the weeks prior to that, every week was around 4 pounds. So it's, oh, man. I couldn't even tell you. Time flies. Yeah. I started the post-op 2-week liquid diet. And I thought to myself, because I did the 2 weeks prior, like, how am I going to get through this? And I was just, it was kind of mentally beating me down. But I realized that after surgery, man, I'm not hungry, and then it kind of kicked in, like, man, this is easy. Why couldn't this have been in the pre-op? Because pre-op was like hell week for Marines. Mm-hmm. And then, if in comparison, and then now it's like I'm at Disneyland. So, but you got to remind yourself. I do set alarms and stuff like that. I was going to say what was it? It was week 2. You might want to